Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I trust we're all doing great, and I'm sure a lot of you are excited to be here today. So we're going to be having our very first seed capital information session. So you're welcome, everyone from across Africa. So if you're here, please just say hi in the chat section. Just say hello and tell us that you're excited to be here today. So I'll be waiting to actually see your response in the chat section. So I'm waiting. If you're excited to be here today, just say hi, hello. Yeah, great. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today as well. I'm so excited. Yes, hi everyone. I'm rocking with my glasses, yes, so please, I have to look nice. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be starting the session shortly. In fact, we're starting the session now. And sincere apologies for the delay. We had some technical issues we needed to resolve quickly. So I'll be introducing my fellow colleagues that are here with me. So just before I do the introduction, please note that the pitch video review process is still ongoing. So because I've been getting a lot of emails from people saying, oh, my pitch video has not been reviewed. I don't know what's going on. Have I been disqualified? No, the review process is still ongoing. So kindly exercise patience and please make use of the dashboard on your profile page on the platform to track your progress. So once once you get to stage 5, which is judge's decision, that means that your pitch video has been reviewed. So please just exercise patience. We're going to ensure that everybody's video is reviewed. As far as you've submitted your video, we would ensure to review it. So moving on, I'm going to be introducing our speaker for today. So our name is Olatudu Ajakaye. She is the team lead remittance at United Bank for Africa PLC UBA. And she's going to be talking to us today, training us on how to receive money from abroad through Correspondent and Intermediary Bank, and also just share some details on the required bank details that you should send to the foundation if you're eligible to receive funding and receive seed funding. And just to mention that this session does not validate or does not necessarily tell you that you're eligible to receive seed funding, but we needed to ensure that everybody gets this training and is well informed. So once the review process is over, we'll be shortlisting the candidates that will be moving to the final phase, which is seed capital. So again, like I always say, not everyone will be selected and shortlisted, and that shouldn't make you feel bad or feel less of who you are. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the other person is better. It's just based on, you know, your pitch video scores, and like we always say, regional diversity, gender diversity, and, you know, we also say timestamp. When we have a tie, we need to break that tie and we select whoever submitted their video first. So we'll be considering all of this at the point of shortlisting. So, and we would reach out to all participants that have been selected to receive seed capital. So also be introducing Adora. Adora is the Entrepreneurship Programs Executive at the Foundation, and she has been very supportive and we're responding to all of your emails. So she's going to be supporting me today. And then we have our very able Foko Rollins. Foko Rollins has been a mentor on the program for over 5 years and has been supportive and supporting us with different translations. So I don't waste much of our time. I'll be handing over to Olatudu now to kick off the session today. So please kindly pay attention, listen, you know, just so you don't miss out on any information, because the information she'll be sharing today is very key for most especially for people that will be eligible to receive seed capital. So it's going to be, we want to ensure that the process is very seamless and effective and everybody gets their funds as at when due. So over to you, Olatudu, and thank you for joining us today. And we'll be taking questions, but after Olatudu's session, I will address a few issues as regards the next step of the program and also we will take your questions and Olatudu will provide answers to those questions. Thank you very much. Over to you, Olatudu. Thank you. And welcome everyone again.
All right, good afternoon all. And for the French-speaking countries, bonjour. At least I know that if we are greeting for the first time in the day, it's bonjour. I hope I'm correct.
You are correct.
We are basically going to discuss about funds transfer, like she said, through Correspondent bank, so that there's seamless delivery of funds to various accounts. And usually for funds transfer, there are some things that are required that a lot of people probably do not understand. When we talk about funds transfer, it's just movement of funds from one place to another. But in this case, account to account, because we cannot take cash from, say, an account in Nigeria and say we want to go and deliver it by cash in another country. So it has to go through the system. And usually for this funds transfer, it doesn't just go straight from bank A to bank B, because not all banks have account relationship with one another. It's possible I have account relationship with bank A, but I do not have account relationship with bank B. And usually when you want to do such transfers, you know, it's to any part of the world, not necessarily restricted to African countries. I know in your case, it will probably be restricted to African countries, but it can go anywhere in the world. And for funds to be delivered from a bank A, which is the initiating bank, to the final beneficiary, you need bridges that will link you up to those banks. Sorry, I don't know. Foko, would you want to interpret at this point, or should I go ahead?
Okay, I can interpret this, Olatudu. Ok, bonjour tout le monde. Donc, comme vous le voyez, nous sommes aujourd'hui à une session d'information sur les transferts internationaux. Donc, on va vous expliquer. Madame Olatudu, qui est chef de département des transferts internationaux à UBA, va nous aider aujourd'hui à mieux comprendre comment les transferts internationaux se passent. Donc, avant de revenir sur ce qu'elle a dit, je vais aussi rapidement dire ce que tout à l'heure, Ibuku a dit d'entrée de jeu. Donc, on vous a dit le processus d'évaluation des juges n'est pas encore fini. On est encore en train de le faire. Donc, n'ayez pas peur pour ceux qui sont encore au niveau 4. Vous n'êtes pas éliminés, donc, et arrêtez d'écrire des mails. Tout le monde, toutes les vidéos vont être évaluées. Attendez juste les résultats. Le fait aussi que vous êtes en train de suivre cette formation ne suppose pas que vous aurez l'argent. On vous l'a dit depuis le début. Il y aura une liste des personnes qui vont recevoir de l'argent et cette liste se fera en fonction de l'égalité des gens, donc hommes, femmes, en fonction des régions, en fonction des pays. Donc, il y a des critères liés au bailleur de fonds. Ça, vous le savez depuis le début. Donc, pour revenir sur ce que Olatudu était en train d'expliquer, le transfert international, vous devez savoir que quand on veut envoyer l'argent à quelqu'un d'un pays à l'autre, passant bien sûr par les banques, donc d'une banque A ou une banque B, ce n'est pas de l'argent qu'on porte en main. Il y a un processus qu'on va essayer de vous expliquer. Donc, c'est l'objet de cette session d'information aujourd'hui. Vous expliquer comment est-ce que la banque va quitter, l'argent quittera de la banque A pour la banque B. Parce que les deux banques ne sont souvent pas nécessairement liées. Et on va donc vous expliquer cette procédure tout de suite. OK, Olatudu, you have the floor. Thank you.
Foko, thank you for the interpretation. So, like I said, you need banks to link one another. And the banks you will use from bank A to bank B, they are called intermediary banks. If, for example, I'm initiating a transfer, at the point of inception, I do not have an idea of the number of banks it will pass through. So if I'm moving money to, say, Cameroon from UBA, Nigeria, I don't have any account relationship with any bank in Cameroon. But what I will do is I'll look for a bank that I have account relationship with and send the money through that bank. That bank, if they do not have direct account relationship with the final beneficiary, they also will look for a bank that they have account relationship with that will also link them to the final bank. Foko, please explain.
Okay, thank you, Olatundo. Ok, donc ce qu'elle était d'expliquer, c'est que si par exemple, UBA, elle veut envoyer de l'argent de UBA pour le Cameroun et que UBA n'a pas de relation avec la banque destinataire de celui qui va recevoir de l'argent, qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Elle va d'abord envoyer l'argent dans une banque au Cameroun où UBA a un compte, avec qui UBA est en relation. À la suite, si maintenant UBA n'a pas encore, ou bien aussi une relation directe avec la banque de destinataire, UBA sera obligé, ou bien là, je veux dire la banque du Cameroun, si la banque qui a reçu le transfert du Nigeria au Cameroun n'est pas en relation avec la banque de destinataire, cette banque au Cameroun qui a reçu l'argent et qui est en relation avec le Nigeria doit aussi envoyer l'argent dans une autre banque au Cameroun qui est en relation avec la banque de destinataire. Donc, et on appelle ça les banques intermédiaires. Donc, quand on vous envoie l'argent d'un pays à l'autre, ça peut donc dépendre des ponts. Les ponts, c'est les banques intermédiaires. Il y a un certain nombre de banques intermédiaires qui vont intervenir dans la chaîne. Donc, c'est ce qu'on essaie de vous expliquer afin que vous compreniez mieux. OK. Thank you, Latundu.
All right. I explained that part so that you understand the essence of intermediary banks. So all the middle banks that you have used to push the money to the final beneficiary bank are what we call the correspondent bank or the intermediary banks. And when you want to do such transfers, there is an authenticated platform that is used globally to transfer funds. And that platform is called the SWIFT platform. And on that platform, every bank has an acronym, just like an alias. I can say if for example, Foko now, I can say if I have a relationship with Foko and it gets to a stage, I might not call him Foko, I might call him Paddy or something. It depends. It's just an alias with which every bank is identified on that platform. So is either on that, in fact, in most cases on that platform, it is that alias that is recognized because it makes processing faster. Though I can use the full name like Olatunde Ajakai, but if I use that at their end, it will be processed manually. So processing takes longer time. But if I use that alias is what we call the BIC or the SWIFT code. The BIC or the SWIFT code. BIC is just Bank International Code or the SWIFT code. But if I use that alias, it passes from system to system. So there's no human intervention if everything is okay. And the process is faster. Foko, over to you.
Oh, sorry. Before Foko takes or translates, Olatunde, please can you switch on your video, and Foko as well. Foko, at point of translating, please kindly switch on your video so they can put a face to who is speaking. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, is it right now? Can I go on? Ok, voilà, voici ce que Olatunde vient de dire. Elle dit que déjà, toutes les banques intermédiaires servent de pont pour que la banque A puisse permettre à la banque B de recevoir de l'argent, c'est-à-dire le compte de celui qui envoie l'argent au départ et le compte de celui qui va recevoir l'argent à l'arrivée. Maintenant, il se passe que toutes les banques ont une plateforme internationale où toutes les banques ont un code. Toutes les banques ont un code et lorsque les opérations doivent se faire en utilisant ce code-là, les opérations se passent vite et automatiques. La main humaine n'intervient pas. Donc ça, c'est ce que vous devez comprendre. Ça s'appelle le code SWIFT. Toutes les banques ont un code SWIFT. Maintenant, elle dit, il est aussi possible que dans la plateforme SWIFT, qu'on puisse utiliser le nom personnel. Mais en utilisant un nom personnel, les opérations vont se faire de façon manuelle. Et ça va mettre encore plus long. Donc, c'est toujours idéal d'utiliser les alias, les codes de chaque banque dans la plateforme globale qu'on appelle le SWIFT. Thank you. Olatunun, you have the floor.
So I've also explained this part so that we do not have your funds delayed. It's for some banks, they might tell you that they cannot provide the SWIFT code, but please ask from them. If eventually they tell you that they cannot provide the SWIFT or the BIC code, then take the beneficiary bank name. But when you use the beneficiary bank name on this platform, you must support it with the full beneficiary bank address. You cannot just use the bank name alone. You cannot just use the bank name alone. You have to use it with the full beneficiary address. But if you use the SWIFT code, which is usually 8 digits or 9 digits, 8 digits or 11 digits, system can interpret and knows the bank and the address of that bank to push it to. And usually the SWIFT code is 8 digits for head office and 11 digits for the branch of that bank. Over to you, Foko.
OK, donc, ce que on recommande, donc, quand vous aurez l'occasion de recevoir l'argent, ou bien lorsque on va vous dire que l'argent vous a été envoyé, dans la documentation que vous allez envoyer à la fondation, il faudra mettre la banque du bénéficiaire. La banque du bénéficiaire, ça ne sera pas uniquement le nom de la banque. Vous devez prendre soin de mettre aussi le code SWIFT de la banque en question. Parce qu'effectivement, on vous l'a dit, avec le code SWIFT, tout est automatique. Alors que si vous mettez directement votre nom ou le nom de la banque, ça sera lent, ça sera manuel. Maintenant, il se dit aussi que le code SWIFT peut avoir 8 chiffres ou 11 chiffres. Généralement, quand c'est 8 chiffres, c'est que c'est la banque principale. Mais si c'est 11 chiffres, c'est que c'est l'agence. Donc, c'est que c'est un sous-compte dans une banque principale. Donc, le code SWIFT peut avoir 8 chiffres ou 11 chiffres. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, then usually when you transfer funds, if I transfer, let's say USD, that's United States dollars, to a bank in Guinea, the way telegraphic transfer works is the money will not go straight to that bank, even with intermediary banks. Funds will first get to the country of origin. So if I'm transferring United States dollars, for example, it will first get to United States of America before they reroute it back to Guinea. If I'm transferring euro, for example, it will first get to Frankfurt in Germany before it is rerouted to the beneficiary bank, irrespective of where it is. Same thing with Great Britain pounds, that's GBP. It will first get to UK before rerouting it to where it's going to. So every currency must first get to its country of origin before it is rerouted to the final beneficiary bank. Over to you, Foko.
OK, donc concernant la monnaie qu'on utilise, vous devez aussi savoir que si par exemple un transfert doit partir du Nigeria pour la Guinée et que ce transfert doit être fait en dollars, sachez que chaque monnaie transite toujours par le pays émetteur. Donc, quand c'est un transfert en dollars, les opérations doivent d'abord passer par les États-Unis. Donc, ce qui veut dire que, et ça c'est en dehors des banques intermédiaires, ça c'est la monnaie qu'on utilise. Si un transfert doit être fait en euros, vous devez savoir que ce transfert-là passe d'abord par l'Union européenne avant d'arriver dans le pays destinataire. Pareil pour la livre sterling, qui est la monnaie anglaise. Donc, lorsque vous faites un transfert en livre sterling, ça passe d'abord par l'Angleterre avant d'arriver dans le pays destinataire. Et tout ceci, ça c'est un processus en dehors de ce qu'on vous a expliqué, en dehors du processus des banques intermédiaires. Donc, c'est un processus additionnel. OK, thank you, Olatundu.
Then for funds transfer, you know, ideally, if I transfer funds to you, my job is not complete until the fund gets to the beneficiary or the fund is returned. We're holding this training because we do not want cases where the fund will be returned because they cannot either transmit to the final beneficiary because one information or the other is missing, or because the information you provided is wrong. So you need to take note of these things we are talking about. But the good thing is, for the countries where UBA is present, what we do is, because we have account relationship with those countries, UBA Nigeria has account relationship with those countries, we do not use our correspondent banks. So if money is going from UBA Nigeria to UBA Cameroon, for example, I do not require all this intermediary bank. But if money is going from UBA Nigeria to another bank in Cameroon, since I do not have account relationship with that bank, I'll need correspondent bank. So for those that have accounts with our correspondent, our subsidiaries, the time that they get their money is faster than for those that do not have accounts with our subsidiaries. Over to you, Foko.
Donc, dans les transferts internationaux, vous devez aussi savoir que le transfert n'est validé que lorsqu'il est complet et que le destinataire a reçu son argent ou bien l'argent est retourné. Maintenant, le but de cette formation, c'est d'éviter au maximum que l'argent soit retourné. C'est pour ça qu'on vous indique les processus afin que vous soyez plus aguerris. Donc, il se passe aussi que UBA Nigeria, par exemple, a un compte à UBA Cameroun. Donc, si le transfert doit se passer de UBA Nigeria pour UBA Cameroun, il n'y a pas de banque intermédiaire. Mais si le transfert se passe entre UBA Nigeria pour une autre banque au Cameroun, il faudrait qu'il y ait une banque intermédiaire parce que la banque de départ, qui est UBA Nigeria, n'a pas forcément un compte dans la banque d'arrivée qui est une autre banque au Cameroun. Donc, voilà pourquoi souvent, quand les opérations ne sont pas faites directement par la banque UBS, il peut arriver que ça mette long parce qu'il y a le processus de banque intermédiaire qui intervient. Donc, ça, c'est aussi une position importante que vous devez savoir. You have the floor, Olatundu.
Then when you want us to transfer funds to you, there's some basic information that we expect you to provide. The information is very important because if they are not there, the fund will not get to the beneficiary. The information is, okay, for you don't need to send us details since the money will be sent by us here in Nigeria. You don't need the transfer amounts. You don't need the purpose of payment. The one that concerns you basically are the beneficiary name. It is very important. You must give us the beneficiary name as it exists in that other bank. If, for example, you have opened an account with a bank in, say, Chad, a bank in Chad with ABC as the account name, when you are telling us to transfer fund to that account, you must give us the exact name with which you have opened that account. We will also require your full address and the country as the beneficiary of fund, because this is required for regulatory reasons. They expect that when we send money outside, we should be able to tell them this person lives in this person in your country or in this country, so that If there's any need to track that person, it is easy for them. Over to you, Foko.
OK, vous devez aussi savoir que pour que l'opération de transfert soit réussie, il y a un certain nombre d'informations que vous devez fournir. Et il y a des informations capitales. Par exemple, les détails de votre nom, ce n'est pas souvent important. Le montant aussi n'est pas souvent important pour que l'opération réussisse. Donc, on vous dit ni la raison de paiement. Ce qui est clé pour que le transfert réussisse, c'est le nom du bénéficiaire. Le nom de bénéficiaire. Et le nom de bénéficiaire doit être le nom au sein de la banque. C'est-à-dire, si vous avez ouvert un compte dans une banque au Tchad avec pour nom ABC, lorsque à l'endroit de Beneficiary Name, vous devez mettre ABC. Donc, c'est le nom qu'on a utilisé pour ouvrir le compte. C'est le nom du compte qui n'est pas forcément votre nom individuel. C'est le nom du compte qui est important. Il y a aussi l'adresse complète. Vous devez donner votre adresse complète pour des raisons réglementaires. Pour des raisons réglementaires, tout destinataire de fonds doit être traçable. L'État ou bien les autorités ont besoin de savoir à qui est-ce qu'on a envoyé les fonds. Et pour cela, vous devez indiquer l'adresse complète et le pays. Thank you, Olatunun. You have the floor.
Another information that you are required to provide is your account number with the beneficiary bank. In some cases, they will give you Iban. What Iban simply means is International Bank Account Number. It's usually longer than the account number, and it has more information than the account number. The Iban is a combination of the country where that person has opened the account, the account number, the bank, and also the branch of that bank. So Iban contains like its number is alphanumeric, but by the time it gets to the platform where transactions are being processed, it will be able to interpret it and pick out the information. So if your bank gives you the account number, fine. And if it's the Iban they have provided, fine. As long as it's correct, it will help. Another basic information that is required, especially for banks in Africa, because globally they are smaller banks. Smaller, not in the various countries where they are domiciled, but smaller in the sense of the global pictures of banks. And for such, it's very difficult internationally to be able to know which bank to link for the money to get to the beneficiary. So it's important that you tell your bank to provide their correspondent bank name and address. And if they cannot provide the name and address, as in the full address, then request for the SWIFT code. It will make the processing of funds to the beneficiary faster. Over to you, Foko.
Donc, vous devez aussi savoir que la prochaine information importante, c'est le numéro de compte du bénéficiaire. Et ce numéro de compte du bénéficiaire doit être le numéro de compte du nom qu'on a indiqué tout à l'heure, du nom du bénéficiaire, au sein de la banque qui doit recevoir l'argent, au sein de votre banque. Vous devez fournir votre numéro de compte. Et ce numéro de compte-là, souvent, c'est le Iban. Donc, c'est le numéro de compte international, numéro de compte bancaire international. C'est un numéro composé, alphanumérique. Et à partir de ce numéro, on a le pays, on peut déterminer quel est le pays, on peut déterminer quelle est la banque du bénéficiaire, on peut déterminer quelle est même l'agence et le numéro de compte. Donc, dans ces numéros de compte-là, il y a 4 informations qui sont lues automatiquement par les systèmes bancaires. C'est le pays, la banque, l'agence et votre propre numéro de compte. Donc, à l'endroit du Iban, vous devez demander à votre banque de vous fournir le Iban. Donc, un autre point, c'est la banque correspondante du bénéficiaire. Il se passe que certaines banques sont internationales reconnues comme des petites banques. Petites banques, ça ne veut pas dire qu'elles sont petites dans le pays où elles se trouvent. Mais on dit dans la plateforme des banques, et en fonction de certains critères, on dit que ce sont des petites banques. Et en conséquence, ces petites banques-là ont des banques correspondantes. Ça voudrait dire que le moment venu, au niveau de banque de Beneficiary Correspondent Bank, vous devez mettre le nom de la banque correspondante ou le SWIFT de la banque correspondante de votre banque, si votre banque est une petite banque entre guillemets. OK, thank you. Voilà tout le monde.
Right. Then another key information that you must provide for us is the name of the beneficiary bank and the full address or the SWIFT code. You know, I mentioned that the SWIFT code is like an alias, like an acronym for banks, usually 8 or 11 digits. So if your bank tells you that they do not have the SWIFT code, request that they provide the beneficiary bank name and the address. Like I earlier said, processing is faster with the SWIFT code than with bank name and address. Because SWIFT code, the system understands it, it quickly interprets it and push funds to where it's going. But beneficiary bank name and address, because spellings might not be the same, the system will not be able to interpret it, it will be processed manually. Then I know for some countries, I don't know whether it's applicable to African countries, but I know for some countries, for funds to get to them, they would expect you to input some codes. I don't know whether, just let me mention it in case it applies to your country, I don't know. I know for India, I know for your own kind of payments, it's not going out outside of Africa. At least that's my understanding. I don't know if it will go out for that. But I know that for payments, for example, to India, if you do not put things like the IFC code, which is an Indian financial system code, the money will not get there. They'll get back to you. If something like this is applicable to you, provide the code. It is very important. Over to you, Foko.
OK. Donc, la prochaine information extrêmement nécessaire, c'est le nom de la banque bénéficiaire. Et comme on vous l'a dit, les banques ont des codes, le SWIFT code. Donc, il est toujours préférable pour vous de donner le SWIFT de la banque bénéficiaire, donc de la banque où il y a votre compte. Donnez son SWIFT. Parce que si vous donnez uniquement le nom de la banque, les opérations vont se faire manuellement et ça sera lent. Alors qu'en donnant le SWIFT code de la banque, le SWIFT code, c'est un nom court. Chaque banque a un nom court dans le système de SWIFT. Si vous donnez le SWIFT code, les opérations vont se passer vite. Donc, en dernière position, elle signale qu'il y a aussi dans certains pays où certains codes sont nécessaires, comme peut-être en Inde et certains pays. Pour les pays où il y aura ces contraintes-là, s'il vous plaît, il faudrait produire ces codes spécifiques au pays, comme le IFSS qu'elle a expliqué pour l'Inde ou bien les pop codes. Ça dépend des pays. Si ce n'est pas dans votre pays, vous n'êtes pas concerné par cela. Thank you.
All right. I just want to show you a sample of correspondent banks. This, for example, is UBA Nigeria's correspondent bank details. Each bank has their own correspondent bank details. Some people call it routing details. It simply means the details with which you route your fund from one bank to another. It is expected that the information they provide for you should include the correspondent bank of the final beneficiary bank. For example, just take a look at this. It just says how to receive money from abroad through United Bank for Africa PLC. You say, please pay United Bank for Africa. Your bank's details are not the same as ours, not the same as the one we have for UBA in Nigeria. I only showcased this so that you will have an idea of what we have been talking about when we talk about Correspondent Bank. It says, please pay United Bank for Africa PLC. I was talking about SWIFT code. This is our SWIFT code, UNAF NGLA. Anywhere under any bank in the world that sees UNAF NGLA knows that it is UBA Nigeria. And it simply means, because it's 8 digits, is talking about UBA Nigeria head office. So this is an example of SWIFT code when I was talking about SWIFT code. UBA Liberia has another one. Zenith Nigeria has another one. So it depends, but it's recognized worldwide. We are saying pay United Bank for Africa through, you can see the word through Citibank, New York. You can see that this is for our USD transfers. We're telling you that if you're sending foreign currency from any part of the world to us, it cannot get to us straight from where you're sending it back from. You must route it through Citibank, New York for USD transfers, because we have accounts seated with Citibank, New York. Likewise, for your own bank, they will tell us pay bank ABC using Correspondent Bank XYZ. But before they can do that, your bank must have account relationship. Bank ABC must have account relationship with Bank XYZ. When the fund now gets to the correspondent bank, it will now say for further credit to the final beneficiary bank. If, for example, your name is BDJ and you have an account with UBA Nigeria, then your for further credit will be BDJ, your account number with UBA Nigeria, beneficiary name will be BDJ, your beneficiary address is where you reside. If you live at number DDD, maybe Cameroon or something, you have to put the full address. Then you also indicate the branch of your bank. If you request this information from your bank, they will provide it, because every bank has the routing details. And it varies per currency. What I've shown you here is for our USD transfers. That's if UBA Nigeria is receiving USD currency. Over to you, Foko.
OK, thank you, Olatuno. Donc, là, maintenant, on va prendre un exemple, un cas concret de transfert en utilisant, please, can you come back for me to read, please? Please, Olatuno, can you come back for me to read? OK, thank you. Donc, ici, on a pris le cas de UBA Nigeria, qui a pour banque correspondante Citibank New York. Alors, pour que l'UBA Nigeria puisse recevoir un paiement ou un transfert en dollars, voici ce qui est écrit. S'il vous plaît, payez UBA Nigeria, United Bank for Africa, SA Nigeria. Et le SWIFT code, comme vous l'avez vu, c'est UNAFNGLA. Ça, c'est le SWIFT code, de UBA au Nigeria. Et vu que c'est 8 chiffres, ça voudrait dire que c'est une banque principale. Donc, la banque Zenith Bank du Nigeria a un autre code. Toute autre banque au Nigeria a un autre code de 8 chiffres. On vous a dit qu'il y a 2 types de codes, 8 chiffres et 11 chiffres. Ici, c'est le code de 8 chiffres qui est nécessaire. Maintenant, on demande le premier truc en rouge, true, donc payer UBA Nigeria à travers Citibank New York. Citibank New York, ici, c'est la banque correspondante de UBA Nigeria. Et elle est située où? Aux États-Unis. Quel est le Swift code de Citibank New York? C'est ça, CITUS 33. Ça, c'est le Swift code de Citibank États-Unis, qui est la banque correspondante de UBA Nigeria. Et nous voulons faire un paiement passant par UBA Nigeria. UBA Nigeria elle-même utilise sa banque correspondante qui est Citibank New York. Et à ce moment-là, il y a ce qu'on appelle le routing code. Ça, c'est le code de UBA. C'est le code de la Citibank. Ça, c'est un code de la banque correspondante par lequel les opérations doivent passer. Et lorsqu'on va demander maintenant le compte, ça sera maintenant le account normal, ça sera maintenant le compte normal. Maintenant, qui est le principal, qui est le réel destinataire? Puisque ce n'est pas la banque qui est le destinataire. Le véritable destinataire, c'est qui? C'est maintenant là où vous allez mettre, là où on a mis for further credit, on a dit Beneficiary Account Number. Ici, maintenant, vous mettez votre numéro de compte. Beneficiary Name, vous mettez le nom tel que c'est inscrit, le nom auquel appartient le numéro de compte. Ce n'est pas votre nom personnel. Si c'est par exemple une entreprise, c'est le nom de l'entreprise. C'est le nom, comme on vous l'a expliqué précédemment. C'est le nom qui a le compte bancaire. Adresse du bénéficiaire, vous mettez ici votre adresse telle qu'on vous l'a indiqué précédemment pour des fins de traçabilité, là où vous êtes localisé. Et à la fin, vous mettez donc l'agence. L'agence est UBA où l'agent est destiné. Donc ça, c'était un cas où c'est un transfert qui va au Nigeria et qui passe par le compte UBA Nigeria qui a pour banque correspondante Citibank New York. Merci. Thank you, Olatunji. You have the floor.
What I just displayed is for USD transfer. That means if you are expecting USD currency into your account, you request for the USD routing details. I also have for, it's the same format. I also have for a Euro fund. Our USD routing details is not the same as our Euro routing details because we maintain different accounts and they are currency based. For our US, for if you're expecting for maybe Euro or GBP, any UK bound transaction, if they're coming from that side, you probably might need the Iban depending on the regulation of that country. So it's the currency that you're expecting into your country that will determine the routing details you're going to provide for you to be able to receive this fund. So if you're expecting the sending bank to send USD fund to your account in whichever country you reside, you must request for the USD routing details from your bank. If you're expecting the fund to come in Euro, you request for the Euro routing details. If you're expecting the fund to come in Great Britain pounds, you request for it. But if your account is domiciled in your local currency, and you want to receive fund, if your country regulation allows that you receive foreign currency into your local currency denominated account, it is fine. What will just happen is the sending bank will send any of the major currencies, either GBP, Euro, USD, or any tradable currency to your account. When it gets to your bank, the bank will use the rates, the existing prevailing rates in your country to convert that fund and credit it to your local denominated account. So you receive the fund in your local currency. But like I said, Some countries do not allow it. Some countries allow it. So it depends on the regulation in your country. Over to you, Foko.
OK, donc, tout à l'heure, nous avons pris l'exemple d'un transfert qui se faisait en dollars et qui était destiné au Nigeria. Pour cela, on a utilisé la banque correspondante en dollars de UBA, qui était Citibank New York. Si par contre, le transfert se fait en euros ou en monnaie de la Grande-Bretagne, ça voudrait dire qu'à ce moment-là, votre banque, pour le cas ici, c'est UBA, doit fournir le compte de son correspondant. Et comme ici, dans l'exemple, il s'agit d'un transfert pour le Nigeria, à ce moment, la banque correspondante, c'est Citibank London. Et toutes les informations sont remplies. Le routing code doit changer parce que ce n'est plus la même monnaie et ce n'est plus la même banque correspondante. Le routing code correspond à la banque correspondante. Les autres informations, vous les mettez. Maintenant, il se passe aussi que si, en fonction des lois locales, si votre compte peut recevoir la monnaie étrangère, donc les transferts en devises, c'est bien. Mais si votre compte ne peut pas recevoir les transferts en devises, ce que votre banque va faire, votre banque devra convertir l'euro ou le dollar en monnaie locale. Et dans votre compte, vous verrez le montant reçu en monnaie locale en fonction des cours du jour. Donc, je dis bien, si votre compte ne peut recevoir que des transferts en monnaie locale et qu'on vous a transféré de l'argent dans une autre monnaie, votre banque va faire la conversion en monnaie locale et c'est la monnaie locale qu'on mettra dans votre compte. Over to you, Olatunlo.
All right. Thank you. I've basically explained what you're expected to request from your bank. I don't know if you have questions, you can ask so I can clarify. And if you have contributions that you think might be helpful for us to make your transfer better, you can suggest them and we see whether it fits into the regulation of international transfer so that we can adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olatunlo, and thank you so much for facilitating this particular session. We really appreciate it. So please kindly send in your questions if you need clarification on anything before Olatunlo leaves, so that we can take those questions. Adora will be in the chat section to compile all your questions. So kindly share your questions. Need clarification, just share, and we'll be happy to give you a response. So we'll just give 2 minutes for the questions to come in, and then we'll continue with the session. Thank you.
Oui, si vous avez des questions ou des contributions, veuillez les faire parvenir, mettez-les dans YouTube. Adora va prendre et échanger avec nous avant que Olatunlo ne parte. Donc, on vous donne 2 minutes pour poser vos questions ou faire vos contributions. Merci, on vous attend.
Okay, so we're trying to put the questions together. So Adora would come on now to share those questions so that Olatunlo can take them. Over to you, Adora. Thank you. Hi, Olatunlo, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Adora is going to share the questions. You'll take them one after the other, so you can provide response to those questions, and then we can move to the next part of the session. Over to you, Adora. Thank you. Did you hear me? Olatunde, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, Olatunde. Are you here? Okay, so we'll just
Yes,
move
I'm
to the
here.
next part. So we're still going to take your questions once we have. Okay, Olatunde is here. Hi, Olatunde. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share the questions now with you. So we'll take them one after the other. Please just give us 5 seconds. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to take the first question now. Okay, so the first question is, how is the correspondent bank name different from the beneficiary bank name? So they need clarification on that. Thank you.
All right. I told you that we do not have account relationship with all banks in the world. Your bank does not have account relationship with, let's say, UBA Nigeria, for example. But if your bank wants to send UBA money to UBA Nigeria, or if UBA Nigeria wants to send money to your bank, what UBA Nigeria will do, if UBA Nigeria is a sending bank, is UBA Nigeria will send the fund to a bank where they have an account relationship. That bank will now check whether they have account relationship with your own bank. If they do not, Bank B that UBA Nigeria sent the money to will link up with a bank that they have account relationship with. That bank C will also check whether they have account relationship with your bank. If they do, they will transfer the money directly to your bank. If they do not, they will also look for another bank that they have account relationship with, that your bank also has account relationship with. So those banks in between the initiating bank and the final beneficiary bank are what we call the intermediary bank or the correspondent bank. So it's different from the beneficiary bank, it's different from the initiating bank. But the bank that helped, that served as middlemen to ensure that the money gets to the final beneficiary bank, those banks are the ones we call intermediary bank or correspondent bank. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Olatunde, for providing more information regarding that. So the second question is, if the country doesn't allow for foreign currency.
I'm sorry, Foko has not interpreted.
Okay, over to you, Foko. Apologies. Foko, kindly translate to French so our French participants can also benefit from the information. Thank you.
Ok, donc il y a une question qui a été posée et la question c'est de savoir la différence entre la banque bénéficiaire et les banques intermédiaires ou la banque correspondante. Donc Olatunde est revenu encore sur ces détails-là. Elle dit bien que ce n'est pas toutes les banques qui ont les relations avec toutes les banques. Donc, en conséquence, quand vous n'avez pas de relation avec une banque, vous êtes obligé de passer par une autre banque, ça qu'on appelle les banques intermédiaires, les banques correspondantes. Et quand votre banque correspondante n'a pas de relation avec la banque destinataire, elle aussi elle est obligée de passer par une autre banque intermédiaire afin d'atteindre la banque de destinataire. Dans la banque destinataire, le plus souvent, pour l'atteindre, on est obligé de passer par des banques correspondantes, ça qu'on appelle les banques intermédiaires. OK, merci. Over to you.
Foko. So I'll just share the next question with Olatunde. So if the country doesn't allow for foreign currency, does this mean we have to create USD account? I think this particular question is for the foundation to answer, and I'll touch on it when we move to the second part of this session. So let me go to the next question. Are there any fees for intermediate banks from the funds? So I think this person is asking if there are any charges if money is transferred through an intermediary or correspondent bank. Over to you, Olatudu. Thank you.
All right. The truth is, there are charges because no bank is a charity organization. For every touch point of that fund, they will deduct from the amount being transmitted. I didn't want to go into the nitty-gritty so I do not confuse you, but there are ways that the charges can be managed. It depends on the charge type that has been adopted for that transaction. And the charge type to be adopted is at the discretion of the sender of fund. They can decide to share the charges. That means the sender and the beneficiary will share the charges that will be taken by all the intermediary banks. If they agree, that will be communicated to the sending bank before the initiation of the transaction. Or the sender can say, let the beneficiary adopt all the charges. That means all the charges that the beneficiary banks will take will be deducted from the amount, and it's just the balance that will get to the final beneficiary. You understand? And there is an option that will say, I, as the sender, I will adopt all the charges that will be taken by the beneficiary, by all the banks, the chains of banks in the flow of fund, that I'll pay that fund, ensure that the exact amount gets to the beneficiary. So it depends on the charge type that has been adopted, but whichever way, charges will come and somebody must bear the charges. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Olatudu, for that clarification. So I'll just share the last question, which is for those of us who...
Can I translate?
Okay, yeah, over to you, Foko. Because I wanted to rush this question so you can translate and just do everything at once, but it's fine. Over to you, Foko.
Okay, thank you. Donc, la question est de savoir qui supporte les charges. Est-ce qu'il y a des charges ou bien non? Est-ce qu'il y a des charges lorsque l'argent passe par toutes ces banques intermédiaires? Donc, ce que Olatudu dit est simple. Elle dit ceci, qu'aucune banque n'est une œuvre de charité. Donc, forcément, il y a des charges quand l'argent transite par autant de comptes. Maintenant, comment ça se passe? Il se passe que lorsque vous devez recevoir de l'argent de l'étranger, lorsqu'il y a un transfert international, tout va dépendre de la charte des charges, c'est-à-dire de la négociation qu'il y a eu entre celui qui envoie et celui qui reçoit, qui doit supporter les charges. Les charges peuvent être mutualisées. Non, ça peut être mutualisé, c'est-à-dire que les deux parties peuvent supporter les charges, tout comme une seule personne peut supporter les charges, ça va dépendre. Toujours est-il qu'il est question qu'on sache bien qui supporte les charges afin de faire le transfert. Ainsi, le bénéficiaire devra plus ou moins recevoir un montant en fonction du montant d'argent qui a été envoyé au départ. Donc, pour résumer, tout va dépendre de la politique de charge adoptée et acceptée par celui qui envoie de l'argent, pour que c'est lui qui sait quel montant envoyer et en cours de route, le montant perd certaines valeurs pour que le bénéficiaire reçoive exactement tel montant en fin de compte. Okay, over to you.
Thank you very much, Foko. So I'll just ask Olatudu the last question and we'll proceed. Okay, so for those of us who have accounts with UBA, so I think this is really for those entrepreneurs from the countries where we have UBA and Nigeria. Do we still need the SWIFT code and routing code, or is just strictly for entrepreneurs from countries where UBA is not present. So they need clarification on that, if it's really necessary to have the SWIFT code, even if you've opened an account with UBA. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that question. For those that have accounts with as subsidiaries in other countries, it depends on the regulation in that country. We have 2 or 3 of our subsidiaries that the country will not allow you route money from account to account directly. They want it to go through intermediary banks. We have 3 of them. So if your account is domiciled in one of those countries, you probably might need intermediary banks and all that. Just request for it from them. The SWIFT code you might not. If you just tell, since it's a subsidiary, and you tell us money is going to UBA Zambia, for example, in-house we know those codes. So we might not label you. We might not stress you to say, go and get the SWIFT code. You understand? But you might need to get their correspondent bank details, depending on the regulation in that country. But for most of our subsidiaries, our UBA in most African countries, just give us your account name, tell us your account number, and give us the UBA name and the country. You don't just tell us UBA. You tell us UBA in which country. That will go. That is enough information for us because the information we already have in our database. And we are not likely to route through correspondent bank. So you need to find out from your bank what operates. Thank you.
All right, thank you very, very much, Olatuju. That's all the questions we have. We really appreciate you, and we thank you for taking out time to, train our participants on, how to receive international funds seamlessly and the kind of information you need to provide at the point of trying to get your seed capital. Thank you very much. So we will move to the next session, which is basically next steps of the program. Some really important information you need to know and you need to share with us at the point of receiving your seed capital. So I will just start with our participants from the UBA countries and non-UBA. So what we usually do at the point of disbursing funds is we recommend, or we tell you the banks we suggest the banks that you need to open accounts with. For entrepreneurs that are from countries where we have UBA, so UBA is present in 20 countries, including Nigeria, you are advised to open accounts with UBA, a UBA branch in your country. So you open a business account, not just opening a personal account. It has to be a business account with the business name that has been registered. Very, very important. And at the point of you opening that business account, once you're done sharing all the information with the bank and that account has been opened, you are expected to also share with us a due diligence verification document. In our next session and in the coming weeks, we're going to share more information about this. I'm going to share a template as well, so you know what to request or you know what to speak to your banker about and tell them the sort of template they need to share with you. Depending on the bank, some banks already have those templates. Some banks you need to give them a template to serve as a guide for them to be able to share that document with you. So once you open an account, your banker is meant to give you that letter, which basically tells us that, we have verified this participant's information and all documents is valid and all original documents have been cited. So you can proceed to disburse funds to this particular participant. So we are going to share more information on that, but I just decided to touch on it so we have an idea of what we're going to do. Also, for entrepreneurs that are from non-UBA countries, the entrepreneurs that will eventually be selected that are from non-UBA countries, we understand that sending funds to you sometimes may be a bit stressful. So in order to make it seamless this time around, we would be suggesting or recommending some banks to you to open accounts with. for seamless and effective disbursement. So it's not mandatory. However, it is advisable that you open accounts with these banks. And we will be sharing more information via email. So if you're from Uganda, if you're from Comoros, if you're from Lesotho, the banks to actually go to and open a business account. If you're from Gambia, if you're from South Sudan, you're from Mauritius, the banks that you need to go to open accounts with. So we're going to be sharing more information regarding this in the coming weeks so that you can look at your country and then check for the banks that we've recommended. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not mandatory. However, it is advisable that you open accounts with this bank for easy and seamless disbursement. But we'll share more information about that. So also, what is required for you if you're eventually shortlisted to receive seed capital? You need to submit some very, very important required documents. And the first thing is your business registration documents. We mentioned this during the training program and during our information session that it's just a standard business rule that you, at the point of you trying to come up with a business idea or start a business, you need to open a business account or register your business. This is very, very important. So for entrepreneurs who have to register their businesses or who are in the process of registering their businesses, if you're shortlisted to receive seed capital, you'll be expected to upload your business registration document. You'll also be expected to upload a notarized document. It's an undertaking. So this, you need to go to the court and you get this document. We would also try as much as possible to share a template with you. You also need to get your tax registration. You also need to share that. So these 3 documents you will need to upload at the point of starting the process of receiving your seed capital. Very, very important. Your business registration document, notarized document, and tax registration document. Very, very important. Also, you are required to submit or upload information on your bank details. So you've registered your business. The next step is now to open an account with the banks that we've recommended. I'm going to mention this again just to reiterate that it is important that you open accounts with these banks that we've recommended. It's not mandatory. However, for seamless disbursement, we advise that you open accounts with this bank. So I'm just going to list out the kind of information that we require from you at the point of sharing your bank details. I know that Olatido touched on this earlier, but I'll just run through what we need from you. So we definitely need your beneficiary name, which is your name, your full name. We need your full address, where you live. We need your business country, where your business is situated. So if you're from Kenya and your business is in Uganda, we need your business country, where you're going to be taking up operations for your business. We need the bank name, which is the bank that you're opening an account with. Very, very important. We need the account number. Very, very important as well. And we need the bank address. So if I'm opening an account with UBA in Nigeria, I need to give them the address of that UBA branch in Nigeria, which is maybe UBA Marina, Lagos. I need to give the foundation that particular address. Like Olatido also mentioned, the SWIFT code of the beneficiary bank. And she said that if you're from a country where we have UBA, you may not necessarily need to give us the SWIFT code because, we have our branches in those countries. So we have those SWIFT codes already. However, depending on the operation in that country, you may be required to send or share that number with us. So regardless if you're from UBA or you're not from UBA, ask your banker to give you all of this information. We're also going to share with you in the coming weeks. So we need the SWIFT code of your bank. We need your intermediary or correspondent bank name. These are for entrepreneurs that open accounts with banks where you can't process funds directly to the bank. You need to go through an intermediary bank or correspondent bank. We need you to share the bank or intermediary bank or correspondent bank name. We need you to send the intermediary or correspondent bank address. Very important. We also need the SWIFT code of the intermediary bank. Very, very important as well. We need the intermediary bank account number. We need the routing number. This is if your intermediary bank number is abroad. Some banks in Africa actually use some international banks to route funds through them to that particular African country. But your banker would advise you, you can share this bank information with them, because we're going to share with everyone, and let them advise. And also your SWIFT code, we mentioned this earlier, sort code, if it's really necessary, you can confirm with your banker as well. Iban number, very important as well. And then any other information that we may necessarily need to, help with processing your funds seamlessly. So I feel like it's very important that you engage your banker, let them know at the point of opening a business account that I'll be expecting funds. I participated in a program. I'll be expecting funds from the foundation at the end of the program because I successfully completed it. And these are the requirements. And I'm going to, what do I need to do? What information is really important that I need to share with them to help my disbursements come in quickly? So you can have that conversation with your bank, and I'm very sure that they'll be happy to help and happy to share this information with you. So this is basically what we need at the point of, after shortlisting, and we're going to let everyone that has been shortlisted, we're going to reach out to you so you've been shortlisted, so you can start putting your documents together. Very important. And we're going to have like timelines for you submitting these documents. So it's not going to go on forever. There's going to be a timeline because we need to close out on the program in preparation for next year's program. So we're going to give you a timeline. So I would implore everyone, not everyone will be shortlisted. I said this at the beginning of the program. We're going to shortlist the final participants that will be receiving state capital. So please, we decided to have this session just so everyone is well informed, because we don't know who's going to be shortlisted, but just so everyone is prepared and ready and they have all their documents ready. So there's nothing delaying you or nothing hindering you from receiving your seed capital. So there are also some basic things that we also need to know around seed capital that I'm going to share. So at the point of you giving us information about your business account, which is your bank details, we require, because we know that some participants from some countries where they have special characters in their names, and I'll use Angola, for example. If you're going to spell, if your name is Samson, you won't spell it as Samson, you use special characters. So we're trying to, it's important that we tell everyone that please write every information you're sharing with us. Don't write in French. Don't write in Portuguese, don't write in Arabic. Please share your bank details information in English with no special characters, because this would hinder your disbursement, because we won't be able to pay if you have special characters in the information you share with us. So very important. We're still going to talk about this when we have our next session, but it's critical that whatever information you're sharing with us, you share strictly in English for easy disbursement. Please, and don't open a personal account. We only pay into business accounts in the name that has been registered, which is why we always request for your business registration documents. It's very important. We don't pay into personal accounts. We only fund your idea, and that's why you need to register a business and open an account, and we pay into your business account. Very, very important. And then countries with UBA presence. So I got this question in the chat, and I was going to address it. So if you're from a country where we have UBA, we're also going to send an email to everyone, listing out the countries. There are 20 countries. If you live or you have your business situated in one of these countries, you need to open a UBA account. So you can visit any UBA branch close to you in your country and open it, and we'll be happy to help and support you with that. And for entrepreneurs from the non-UBA countries, we're going to also send a list of recommended banks. So for all the countries, we have a list of banks we're recommending and advising that you open accounts with for easy and seamless disbursement. Also, I've touched on the due diligence verification. We will share more information about this in the coming weeks. So we're going to share a template, and you need to give us this document to enable you move to the next phase of the program, which is receiving your seed capital. This is after shortlisting. So you need to submit that due diligence verification. We need to be sure that all the documents you've given to the bank is valid, is original, and they cited it. So we need that information from your bank. So you need to get that information, and it has to be stamped in the bank's letterhead. So you need to get that letter, and then you upload, and then you get your money. We will process your payment once you upload that particular document. We will share more information as well. And also, I think I've touched on this, ensure to get all details required from your bank, especially non-UBA. We always struggle with the processing funds to the countries where we don't have UBA. Please ensure that you get all the right information. Check your bank details over and over again to be sure that you're sharing the right information. Once there's an error or you give us a wrong number, we won't be able to process your funds. Your funds will definitely bounce back, and we're trying to avoid that this time around. We want everyone to receive their seed capital timely and early enough so you can kickstart your business operations. And also ensure to submit your bank details before the deadline. There will be no extension. We're going to give you a deadline to upload your business registration document and also upload your bank details, please and please. If you have any issues, medical, kindly, at the point of shortlisting, if you know you've been shortlisted, please reach out to the foundation. Don't come when the deadline, is over, like after the deadline, and then you say, oh, I've been sick, something happened to me. And please, it has to be genuine. We're not going to give extensions, and we're going to ask for evidence or whatever, reasons why you can't meet up. We would ask for valid evidence. So please, that's why we're informing you ahead of time, so there are no issues. So you don't say, oh, they're not nice to me, they're being wicked, that's why they don't want to pay me. That's why we're sharing the information ahead, so you can start putting your documents together, right? And start getting ready. In as much as you don't know if you're going to be shortlisted, but just prepare, because, it may just be a good time for you to, get ready and make sure everything is ready. Maybe not for the TEF funding. There could be other funding opportunities for you, and that person will request for all of this information and you don't have it. So it's just a business rule that you have all of this ready, your business registered, your bank account details, so that if you have any investor that is willing to, invest in your business, you have everything ready to share with that investor. So it's very important. So I'll take questions now, and Adora would be in the chat box to help compile those questions. So if it's clear, there are no questions, please just write in the chat box, Ibukun, all cleared, we understand, we're happy, we enjoyed the session. So I'll be in the chat to see all your responses. Yeah, so I'm waiting to get your questions, clarification. If you need me to, speak to anything, kindly let me know. I'll be happy to provide a response. Okay, so some questions are coming in. So I'll just allow Foco translate to French. So just a summary of everything I've said around giving us the right bank details, ensuring they stick to the given deadline, ensuring you speak to your bankers at the point of opening an account, ensure that you open accounts with the banks that we've recommended. Very important. It's not mandatory. However, we're recommending and advising that you open accounts with this bank. So yeah. So thank you. Over to you, Foco. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibukun. It was so long, but I'm going to try to give a resume. Donc, ok, Ibukun est revenu sur plusieurs choses qui ont déjà été dites. Elle s'est beaucoup répétée. Toujours est-il que vous savez bien, il y a des banques où il y a des pays où il n'y a pas UBA, il y a des pays où il y a la banque UBA. Donc, UBA n'est que dans 20 pays en Afrique, y compris le Nigeria. Donc, ce qui fait que pour les banques, pour les pays où il y a UBA, lorsqu'on va vous demander les informations nécessaires, vous allez les fournir. Comme par exemple le code SWIFT de UBA. Ce sont des informations que vous allez fournir, mais en réalité, eux, ils ont déjà ça en interne. Donc, maintenant, pour les pays où il n'y a pas UBA, on va vous donner des formulaires à remplir. Même pour les pays où il y a UBA, on va vous donner des formulaires à remplir. On va vous donner des formulaires à remplir, des informations qu'on va vous demander en termes de due diligence, comme d'habitude, des informations que vous allez fournir pour pouvoir activer ou bien pour pouvoir recevoir vos fonds. Ça va concerner uniquement ceux qui vont être retenus pour recevoir les fonds. C'est vrai que maintenant, tout le monde est informé. On vous l'a dit, ce n'est pas tout le monde qui recevra les fonds. Donc, pour les pays où il n'y a pas la banque UBA, on va vous faire des recommandations de banque. Ce ne sera peut-être pas obligatoire, mais c'est nécessaire parce que les banques qu'on va vous recommander sont les banques avec qui la transaction pourra être facile. C'est la même chose pour les pays où il y a UBA. On recommande à tous les bénéficiaires d'y ouvrir un compte. Le compte doit être un compte professionnel, pas un compte à votre nom. Donc, c'est un compte professionnel, c'est-à-dire un compte au nom de l'entreprise. Et vous devrez fournir un certain nombre d'éléments pour pouvoir obtenir le financement. On vous en parlera lors d'une prochaine session. Ces éléments, ça sera peut-être le registre de commerce, les statuts pour ceux qui auront la forme de société et un certain nombre d'informations comme non, ça sont les informations dont vous aurez besoin pour ouvrir le compte. Les statuts, les impôts, être à jour en termes d'impôts afin d'ouvrir le compte. Donc, ces informations-ci, on va revenir dessus. Pardon. Il y aura une autre session où on va mieux vous expliquer. Toujours est-il qu'il y aura un délai lorsqu'on va vous demander certaines informations. Depuis le début de cette formation, on vous a prévenu de vous préparer. On vous a prévenu sur un certain nombre de choses. Vos entreprises doivent déjà être créées. Et vous devez, à la limite, même déjà avoir ouvert vos comptes pour les pays où il y a UBA. Pour les pays où il n'y a pas UBA, on va vous faire des recommandations afin que les opérations se passent facilement. Rien n'est obligatoire, mais c'est juste des conseils pour que vos transferts se passent bien. Et vous devez savoir, cette formation, antérieurement, il n'y avait pas cette formation ou bien cette session d'information. Maintenant qu'on vous a donné des conseils sur comment remplir les documents qu'on mettra à votre disposition, pour ceux qui seront des bénéficiaires, sachez que si votre transfert est retourné à cause des erreurs, des informations que vous devez remplir, on va annuler. Donc, il n'y aura pas de temps à perdre parce qu'il faut qu'on arrête le programme à un moment et qu'on passe à la préparation du programme de l'année prochaine. Donc, pour ceux, les informations, vous devez les remplir en anglais, s'il vous plaît. Parce qu'il y a des langues où il y a des caractères spéciaux. À ce moment-là, ça gêne et ça fait que les transferts ne réussissent pas. Donc, on vous conseille de mettre vos informations en anglais, de mettre votre nom, surtout, écrivez votre nom en anglais, parce que les systèmes ne reconnaissent pas forcément les caractères spéciaux que certaines langues utilisent. Ou bien certains noms, il y a des noms qui s'écrivent de façon à ce que les machines ne reconnaissent forcément pas. Et c'est souvent ça qui est à l'origine des rejets de transferts. Donc, on vous prévient dès maintenant, sachez écrire vos informations, de préférence en anglais quand vous allez communiquer avec la fondation. Ça permet de faciliter vos opérations. Donc, c'est un conseil qu'on vous donne afin que votre transfert ne retourne pas. Parce qu'on vous l'a dit, tout transfert qui va retourner, on ne pourra plus le refaire. Il y a aussi certaines personnes qui viennent lorsque les programmes sont clôturés en justifiant qu'ils étaient malades, ils avaient eu un incendie, ils avaient eu deuil. On ne tiendra pas compte de tout ça. Quand le programme sera clos, quand un délai sera passé, il sera passé. Donc, vous êtes prévenus, essayez d'être diligent, suivez les procédures qu'on met à votre disposition et il y aura d'autres sessions d'information comme celle-ci où on vous apportera plus de détails. On vous le dit juste maintenant pour que vous puissiez vous préparer. Il y aura d'autres sessions où on va vous expliquer clairement tout ce qu'il y a à faire. Donc, voilà ce qu'on pouvait dire aujourd'hui. Je résume juste ce qu'elle a dit. Elle a dit beaucoup de choses plusieurs fois. Donc, je ne pense pas avoir oublié beaucoup de choses. On vous remercie pour tout. S'il y a des questions, posez-les et puis on va pouvoir y répondre. Over to you, Ibukun.
Thank you very much, Foko. Thank you for the translation. So I have a few questions. I don't have a few questions, actually. I have more than 8 questions, and I'll just address those questions quickly. So I'll take 2 questions each and allow Foko to translate so it's faster. So the first question I have is, okay, so they're asking, we have a UBA bank in our country, but my business account is in a different bank. Am I supposed to open a UBA account? Am I supposed to open again in UBA? Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, if you're from Benin, and your business is in Uganda, which means you operate your business in Uganda, it is very important that you open a business account in Uganda, because that is where you run and operate your business. You can't live in Benin. You have a business in Uganda and you open your business in Benin. You're not operating your business. So you need to open an account in the country where you operate your business. That's why we deal with the business country, because that's where your business operation is, and that's where you need to open an account. It's very, very important. So if you're from Benin and you have your business operations in Uganda, you need to open UBA, an account, a business account with you in UBA Uganda. But if you have a business account with UBA already, in the name that has been registered, your business name that has been registered, then that is fine. But we need to ensure that your business operation is in Africa, is in an African country and not outside Africa. So you don't have to have, it's not compulsory that your business operation must be in the country where you live, in the African country where you live. It could be elsewhere. You could be from Nigeria and you're operating your business in Ghana. So that's still valid. But the most important thing is that you have a business account with UBA in the name that has been registered, the business name that you have registered. That is very critical and very important. So I'll take the next question. What about if I already have a business account with UBA? Do I need to open another one? If you have a business account with in the business name that you have registered and you shared the business documents with us, then that is fine. But it has to be, it can't be a personal account or an individual account. It has to be a business account in the same business name that has been registered, and you shared that document with us. So which means the CAC document, CAC basically is a business registration document from Nigeria. I know there are other names for other business registration documents across Africa. So if you're giving us that particular document, that name that has been registered must be the same with the business accounts that you're giving to us, even if you have it in existence already. So very important. When are we communicating to those selected? In the coming weeks, all participants that have been shortlisted to move to the final phase of the program, which is the seed capital, would be contacted. So you would hear from us via email. We'll most likely send text messages, but that's not confirmed. But we would send you an email notifying you that you've been shortlisted to receive seed capital. So you definitely hear from us. Please, can you explain the notarized document? Okay, so basically, a notarized document is one that has been verified by notary public. So if a member of the notary public, a member of the notary public is basically an official that verifies identities of participants and signing of your documents. So they basically verify your documents to be sure that that document is valid and so what you need to do is, once you register your business, you just need to go to a notary public and have that document signed on or validated. So it's just basically saying that this document that you shared is original, they've cited it, it's okay, and you can share. So you can go to any notary public and they would advise you and tell you what to do. So it just confirms the genuineness of your documents. That's basically, so we always need that. So we know that the documents you're sharing is actually genuine and original. So that's why we usually request for a notarized document. So I'll move to the question. Okay, so over to Foko. So I don't answer all the questions, so Foko can translate to French. Over to you, Foko. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibukun. Thank you very much. Donc, ok, on va commencer par la première préoccupation. Je vais laisser les questions et aller directement aux réponses. Elle nous a expliqué que si vous êtes par exemple au Bénin et que votre business, votre activité retenue à la fondation est en Ouganda, c'est mieux d'ouvrir le compte bancaire en Ouganda parce que c'est là où il y a votre entreprise en fonction des vérifications qui vont être faites. Donc, et on vous l'a dit, le compte bancaire doit être un compte professionnel. Le compte bancaire doit être un compte professionnel, c'est-à-dire ça doit être un compte au nom de l'entreprise, pas à votre nom personnel. Aucun transfert ne se fera dans un compte personnel. Tous les transferts se font dans les comptes professionnels. Donc, si vous êtes dans un pays et que votre activité qui a été retenue par la fondation est dans un autre pays, le compte bancaire doit être créé dans le pays où il y a l'entreprise et non dans le pays où vous résidez. Et on vous l'a dit, les entreprises ou les projets doivent être basés en Afrique. Si vous êtes même hors de l'Afrique, votre projet doit être basé en Afrique, la société doit être créée en Afrique. Et le fonds l'argent vous sera envoyé dans le compte bancaire créé dans le pays où il y a l'activité qui a été retenue pour le compte du TIF 2021 ou 2020, pour lequel vous êtes bénéficiaire. Donc, une autre question, il y en a qui disent si leur entreprise est déjà créée et qu'ils ont déjà ouvert un compte bancaire en dehors de la banque UBA, est-ce que ça peut marcher? Il faut qu'on l'a précisé. Tout ce qu'on vous demande, c'est que vous devez avoir un compte bancaire professionnel. Vous devez avoir tous les documents qu'on va vous demander et le virement sera fait, le transfert sera fait dans le compte bancaire de l'entreprise et non dans votre compte bancaire professionnel. Donc, la seule difficulté, la seule nuance, c'est que aucun transfert ne se fera dans un compte individuel. Les transferts se font dans les comptes professionnels ouverts dans des banques situées dans le pays où votre société ou bien votre projet a été créé, le projet pour lequel vous avez eu à pitcher, le projet pour lequel que vous avez présenté à la fondation. Donc, voilà toutes les exigences qu'on met à votre disposition. Et comme on vous l'a dit, dans les pays où il n'y a pas UBA, il y a les banques qu'on va vous recommander où vous pouvez ouvrir les comptes afin de faciliter les transferts. Donc, tel qu'avec Olatoun, on vous a expliqué tout à l'heure, on vous a expliqué toutes les opérations de transfert. Et on vous a dit, on vous conseille UBA dans les pays où il y a UBA pour que le transfert se passe vite. On vous conseillera d'autres banques dans d'autres pays pour que le transfert se passe vite. À défaut, le transfert est possible, mais il pourra mettre long. Si vous ne mettez pas les codes SWIFT de la banque du bénéficiaire, par exemple, si vous mettez juste le nom de la banque, l'opération va se faire manuellement et ça sera long. Ça sera long et ça va finir par aboutir. Ça aussi, c'est une bonne chose. Ça va aboutir, mais ça sera long. Si par contre, votre transfert est rejeté, on vous l'a dit, on ne vous le renverra plus. Parce que les années antérieures, on a eu beaucoup de soucis parce qu'il fallait renvoyer une fois, deux fois et ça perdait du temps. Donc, on vous a dit, donnez les vraies informations, correspondez avec la fondation en écrivant votre nom en anglais. N'écrivez pas votre nom ou le nom de votre entreprise en utilisant des caractères spéciaux. Là, ça va gêner et ça fait que souvent le transfert est rejeté. Maintenant, quelqu'un pose la question de savoir ce que signifie le document notarié, de notarized document. Le document notarié, c'est un document qu'on va vous envoyer, on va vous expliquer comment est-ce que vous allez faire afin qu'un notaire dans la banque du pays où est située l'entreprise puisse authentifier certains documents. Ça, on vous l'expliquera et on vous enverra le document en vous indiquant exactement ce que vous devez faire. Et vous avez l'avantage que vous avez des coachs. Les coachs ont fait ça les années antérieures. Donc, eux, ils pourront mieux vous expliquer tous ces documents-là par rapport à votre pays. Donc, je pense que voilà les questions qu'on a eu à apporter des réponses. Over to you, Ibukun.
So just to quickly clarify one of the questions that I got earlier. So if you have an existing business account with UBA and it's not in the country where your business is operating, it's fine. As far as it's a UBA account and it's in an African country and you give us the documents, the registration documents in the same name, in that same name and in the same business account name that you opened, then that's fine. You don't really need to open a new account. But if you have a business account in another bank other than UBA and you're from a country where we have UBA presence, you must open a UBA business account. Very important. Except you're not operating in a country where we have UBA. Then you can open an account with the banks that we're going to be recommending or advising you to open accounts with. But if you do have UBA in your country, or if you're in a country where there's UBA and you have another business account, you must open a business account with UBA. Very important. So I need to clarify that so we're all on the same page. So the last question is, I made some modifications.
Please, let me come
translate.
on it, please. Okay. Donc, OK, elle revient sur... Oui, OK, thank you. Elle revient sur une réponse. Si vous avez le compte bancaire UBA dans un pays et que votre entreprise a été créée avec le même nom de compte dans un autre pays, elle dit il n'y a pas de souci. Vous n'avez pas besoin d'ouvrir un autre compte. Je dis bien, si vous avez le compte bancaire UBA dans un pays il est possible qu'on vous fasse le transfert dans ce compte-là, mais ça doit être au nom de l'entreprise tel qu'il a été créé. Aussi, elle revient sur une autre préoccupation. Si vous êtes dans un pays où il y a UBA, on vous demande et que vous avez déjà le compte bancaire dans une autre banque, elle revient, il est important que vous puissiez ouvrir un compte bancaire à UBA, un compte bancaire professionnel à UBA. Je me répète, si vous avez un compte, si vous avez votre entreprise et un autre compte bancaire dans un pays à UBA, il est important que vous créez de nouveau un compte bancaire à UBA, un compte bancaire professionnel à UBA. Over to you, Ibukun.
Thank you, Foucault. Thank you very much. Thank you for that, for the translation. So I think I've been able to answer a lot of questions. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing more information about the seed capital process in the coming week, and we're still going to have another session. And the review process is still ongoing because I've been getting a lot of comments around that my pitch video has not been reviewed. It's still ongoing, so not to worry. If you successfully uploaded your pitch video, we will definitely review. And then I got another comment from someone saying that at the point of uploading your pitch video, it wasn't playing, there was no sound. And I think I addressed this at the last session we had. For some people, after creating your video, you know, maybe the video was really large and you used a lot of people use different solutions to compress their videos. And I think at that point, it got corrupted. So at the point of you uploading, it affected your video. It's possible the voice wasn't, you know, you couldn't hear anything or you couldn't see the video. So what we usually do at the point of reviewing is we download your video and we review. But if after downloading, we can't see your video and we can't hear anything, it means that file is corrupted and there's nothing we can do. But just to go the extra mile to make sure that, you know, we ensure that everybody's video, we usually download the video before review. So if after downloading your video still doesn't play and we can't hear anything, then there's nothing we can do. So I just thought to share that so that if you're in that particular position or if you have that particular program, there's really nothing we can do about your video. It cannot be reviewed if you can't watch or hear anything you're saying. So apologies in advance if you're affected by this. So I think we've come to the end of the session for today, and I've been able to address a lot of questions. So please let me know if you enjoyed the session in the chat box. Tell me you enjoyed it. It was a wonderful session, and you know, and you're excited to be a part of the TF program, and you're excited and hopeful that you'll be shortlisted at the end of the day. So please, your comments, I want to see your comments. I'm waiting for your comments, right? So please let us know if you actually enjoyed today's session and if it was beneficial and you know you got a lot of value from the session today. Please share in the chat section. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Very informative. Yes. Wonderful session. We enjoyed it. Great. I can't tell you how many participants will be shortlisted, but the participants that are shortlisted will be contacted. That I can tell you for free and I can confirm to you. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. It's been a long 2-hour session. Thank you very much for joining us. I know it's not easy, you know, live streaming for over 2 hours. So thank you for joining, and we look forward to having you when we have the next seed capital session, which will be after the shortlisting process. And congratulations in advance to everyone. And I wish you guys the very best. May the best man or woman win or get shortlisted. Thank you and have a great day. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Foucault. We appreciate. Thank you and well done. Thank you. Bye.